Good evening, everybody. This is Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. I'm CmdrAleon, and good evening, everybody, on this holiday season. To be jolly, cosmically speaking. Good to see you, Florence. Everybody coming in here. KC 55700, Jess Parker. Good evening, Moon Goo Guy, Florence. Thank you for the likes. Catherine. Hey, Jess Parker. Good to see you. Tin. That's a good name. Folklore, Paranormal. Good to see you, brother. Raindrop 555. Hey, Monica. Dorset, good to see you. Loretta, good to see you. Good evening, Jody Allen. Everybody coming in here. This is the Sunday night edition of the #1 spiritual UFO talk show, Encounters. You know, many have tried, but no one can actually do the original, and this is where it's at. So good evening, everybody. Tonight we're going to, as you've seen in my promotional video for the last few days, I'm watching a lot of these videos now from all over the place of these so-called drones all over the world and in Jersey, and there are these things happening in other parts of the world as well. Hey, good to see you, everybody. Thank you for the gifts, Florence. I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. Folklore, thank you. Jetty Beans, thank you for your gift. Very much appreciated. Supreme Alchemist, hey, good to see you. Welcome. Everybody coming in here. So we're going to have a great show tonight. And so my theme tonight is to really cover this whole thing. I've been watching this stuff since it started very quietly, and different kinds of videos, different perceptions. And I'm finding it to be extremely weird. Good to see everybody coming in here. Cotton Candy, thank you for the lightning bolts. We appreciate that very much. Thank you. And we got our apple cider here. I'm in the midst of a change in the room I'm in. I'm actually in the room I'm going to be in, but the room that was actually the crystal room is now the living room. It looks really beautiful. The room I'm here now in the next few days is going to be transformed. This room, when you see this room, when it's done, you'll see it. This room is going to be so amped up in the space energies, it's going to be crazy. This room, I've got so many crystals over the last 20 years that are ET higher vibrational crystals, including my big amethyst and also some other stuff. When you see the setup that I'm being guided by the space people of the command how to set it up, and we're going to take a few days to get it set up properly, and then I'm going to let you see the room once it's completed. So right now there's a lot of stuff in here, and but it's going to be absolutely beautiful. When it's done, I'm going to actually show it to all my audience. You'll get to see the commander's spaceship room. I call it the spaceship room. Really kind of up in the higher frequencies, So welcome everybody to the show. And if you've watched the video, my promotional video, I want to focus a good portion on what's happening with these so-called drones. I'm not even sure they're drones anymore. I mean, actually, I don't even think they're drones. And I talked to my good friend Colin Andrews, who's a very well-known crop circle researcher, and we spoke just the other night. He messaged me back regarding these so-called drones, and he says that if you've heard of Colin Andrews, he's very well-known for all the work he did in crop circles in England, and we're really good friends. And he lives in the same state I do, so he talked to me about this, and he feels that these so-called big drones are actually imitating similar light patterns that a conventional aircraft would have, but they're actually spaceships or UFOs. He says UFOs. So I'm inclined to think that these things are making a sound to imitate a sound that we would see in a sound of something's conventional, but yet these things aren't being conventional. They're not moving conventional. They're not doing things that are conventional. Right? I mean, you've watched some of these videos. Does it look like they're doing conventional things? People say they have sounds. Some people say some of them are triangular. Some people say they're silent. So the question is, really, what's going on? What's really happening? There's a lot of theories and a lot of misinformation out there. I've seen that too. People are going off the deep end. But we're not going to do that. We're going to try to bring this into the center of what it really is. And part of it, I think, is definitely extraterrestrial intelligence imitating and manipulating what things we would be we would not be afraid to look at. So when they see these things, oh, we'll do this, and they won't be afraid. When it makes sense to do something that wouldn't make you afraid, but that make you, be alert enough to say, what is this? This is not a drone. It's too big. It's as big as an SUV. It can't be a drone. What is it? Something as big as an SUV is a drone? Come on now. Wake up out there, people. Wake up out there, humanity. You think a thing as big as an SUV or bigger is a drone? Maybe there's secret military operations that have reverse technology drones that are as big as a car. I have no idea. But I've never seen anything that big. Now, I know there are people out here recording these things, and what we're going to do tonight is invite people that know people that are here on TikTok who are recording these things to tell their story. We're going to hear your story. And if you wish to be part of that story, I want to hear from people that are seeing these things to share their stories so that we can get it out on the #1 UFO spiritual talk show here on planet Earth, right here on Encounters. I got my apple cider. I set up the energies behind me. So this is like just a mini setup. But once this whole room is set up, you're going to see this place is going to be like outer space. Royalty says, I found someone with exceptional video, is it? With amazing video. Turk says, I had a certain experience with Zeta recently. We're going to get into that stuff tomorrow night, all the general stuff. Tonight we're going to get into the whole thing with these drones. I saw as big as 3 cars. I thought it was a drone in 2016. Interesting, Melody. Hey, Bass Entertainment Productions, welcome. I want to send you a video. Catherine H. Amida. I don't bring up, I think, Catherine, what is the video? Is it a UFO spaceship thing? What is the video that you want to send? I'll give you the email, and I'll definitely look at it. My email, if you have any UAP or UFO video footage you want to send me, you can send it to CmdrAleon at AOL.com. I'll get it to everybody again slowly. CmdRAleon at AOL.com. Send the videos to me, care of the show, and I'll take a look at them. Now let's see here. Hey, Kit Kat, good to see you. Thank you, Yu. You rock as well. Can I tell my story of seeing a reptilian at a bar physically? We'll do that, Pro Spirit, tomorrow night. Tonight, we're really laser focused. I did my promotional video for the drone thing, what's happening around the world. We'll do open kind of discussions regarding that stuff on Monday night. Let's see. Check out the video I just reposted about a crash. 999, I want to believe. Can you explain what that crash was? I heard that military helicopters were searching for what they claimed to be. I saw a video about it. It was supposed to be a crashed drone. Has anyone heard about that? I don't know. I think it was in somewhere in New Jersey. They're supposedly, now this is a thing for entertainment purposes only. The story goes, and whether it's true or not, who knows. Supposedly the military shot down one of these things, and there was a video that was posted saying that this happened. I don't know if it happened or not, but it just shows that there was a helicopter searching for something on the ground. They're in the ocean. That's right, they are. Notorious, good to see you. Okay, Bass, you have footage of, can you explain what the footage is? Okay, Royalty, definitely do that for sure. A video of a UFO, okay. And where was the video of the UFO recorded? Did you record it? And where was the recording? It had intelligence. Interesting. Royalty, thank you. Hey, Larry, good to see you. I'm just reading your comments. UAP crash. We'll bring you up. Where was the UAP crash? Was it? You can tell us where it was or when it was. When was this UAP crash? I ask questions. That's what I do. Because of my background is in news media, as being a news director, I ask questions. Melody says, I keep being watched by drones. How big are the drones watching you, Melody? Are they small? Are they big? Hey, Melissa, Neil, good to see you. Are the drones you're seeing big? See, I always ask these questions to get an idea of where we're going here. Melissa, let's see. Melody says she's being watched by drones. Let's see here. Just reading comments. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. It might be kind of hard to do that. It might be, like I said, these so-called drones, it might not even be drones. They could be affecting people's cameras. A lot of times, it's not that people don't want to get good footage. A lot of times, their cameras are affected by these objects. And that's a 95% of what the problem is. It's not so much the person's not trying to get a close-up footage of it or get a clear footage of that particular object. It's the frequency interference from the object itself. Larry, hello. Let's see, bad compare. Let's see here. Hey, Ozzy, good to see you. Just reading comments. I think it's Chef E. Jeffy. I did not see your message. Sometimes TikTok filters. So is there anybody seriously out there that's been anywhere in the world having these UAPs, UFOs over their area? Whether you're in Europe or the United States, I want to hear, have you been seeing what they call drones that aren't really drones? The deal is, what is going out there? We need to kind of get into that tonight. Catherine H. says, I have a dream of spaceships coming towards me. Okay, Sitting Edge. No. We are not talking about ghosts here. Just so you know, nothing against ghosts, but this is a show that deals with the cosmic levels. We don't get into the paranormal, politics, or religion. But you're welcome to sit around and hang out with us here. Yeah, so now I can see your comments, Jeff. Can you give me the question or comment? And let me see, try to reword the comment, because TikTok does some filtering. And like I said, I'm really laser focused tonight, so I know people might want to talk about different things, but I want to really focus on this for a while. And maybe later on in the second hour, I'll open it up to different areas of people having contact and so forth. But in the first hour, definitely want to get into this. Okay, I'm not sure what that's all about. Okie dokie, I think we need to put this person on mute. As host of the show, I am controlling what I see here, and if I have to mute or block anybody, I will. Tiny Mama, I'm going to bring you up. Let me bring that person, Tiny Mama. If you can come on camera, you're in New Jersey. I want to see if you can talk about what's going on down there in New Jersey. Have you seen anything, since you're a New Jersey person, where a lot of this is happening? Not just in Jersey, but all over the world, there's this stuff happening. So we want to find out what's going on here.
Hi.
Hey,
I
Tiny
was just
Mama.
scrolling through and I came across you.
Yeah, you're now watching the number one spiritual UFO talk show. I've been on here for 2 years. I'm on at 11 o'clock at night. So now, because of this whole thing with New Jersey, also in the UK, other countries, New Jersey's not the only place, and other parts of the country aren't. But a lot of stuff's happening between New York and New Jersey, Pennsylvania right now. Can you tell us anything about have you seen anything down there?
Yeah. I mean, it's been pretty wild.
Can you bring your camera on? Can you on camera?
Yeah. I'm actually just walking upstairs right
Oh,
now,
good. Okay.
so I can get to a higher level and see if maybe I
Okay.
can.
Absolutely.
Give me 1 second.
I've been really, one of the
Oh,
things,
one
since
second.
I formerly was a news director for a radio station, I am very keen on I've been looking at a lot of these people showing video, and I have a really pretty good idea about what's happening, not only there, but in the UK and other countries. They're calling them UAPs. Some people, they were calling them UAPs, and then they said they were drones, but they're too big to be a drone, or if it's a top secret
Yeah, they
government, just
yeah,
go
they
ahead, tell
look
us
like
after you get on there.
all right, I'm gonna turn my camera on now. Right now is not a really good, bear with me. a
No
really
problem.
good time. Let me see if I can. Oh, I
Doesn't have
forgot
to
to
be
save it.
perfect.
Hold on.
Yeah, you know how to do it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. All
All
right. And
right.
you're
So,
actually outside right now.
yeah, I'm hanging out a window.
I hang out a window.
um,
And what part of New Jersey are you located in?
I am in South Jersey. So
Okay.
right now they're off in a distance. Would you be able to make me big? Maybe that'll
Yeah, I
help
can make
zoom
you
things
big.
in
Hold
a
on.
little bit.
I can make myself small. Hold on a minute. I will make you big here. Hold on a minute. And let me
Okay.
just do this here.
Right now they're off in a distance. So it's going to be a little hard to actually see their size. Do you see that
Hmm.
blinking?
Everyone watch the camera. So what we're doing is we have Tiny Mama from New Jersey, Southern New Jersey, and they're having activity down there. And she's trying to show us some of these so-called drones that are appearing in this region. And when do they come closer to where you are? Have you
Let me
seen them
see.
come right like real
Oh
close?
yeah, they were at my they were literally right above my house 2 days ago.
Really?
Um,
Really?
yeah. Can you see? Let me see if I'm getting my camera on it. I
I'm
see
seeing
them.
that
Right now they're in the
you see them. I
distance a
see the
little bit, but
sky. They're in the distance. And what and like when they come close to you, is there a specific time they come over your area or what's happening?
usually starts around 8:30.
Hmm.
Sorry, I'm trying to get the camera on them. I see
Yeah, I
them with
can't.
my naked eye, but I don't know if I'm necessarily picking them up on the camera.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. My making you bigger doesn't really do much. Let me see here.
no, it didn't really
I'm
do
I'm,
much.
I'm
Um,
gonna yeah. I'm gonna bring it back to the same size. Give me a minute. I'm gonna bring it back up
yeah, that's fine.
to the. Let me just do this here. I'll bring myself. All right, in a minute I'll have it all
I'll
straightened
give
out.
it a
Here we go.
couple. Well, we can talk about it. I'll give it a couple minutes,
Yeah,
see
let's
if
talk
any come
about it.
any closer
You know,
or if any
we'll
fly above
definitely
me.
talk about it
So,
for sure.
yeah, so I've been seeing them for a few weeks now. The other
And
night
you can
is
still go
when
on
they were,
camera while we're talking about it. You can still
yeah,
go on camera. Yeah, definitely don't worry about that. So we have Tiny in southern New Jersey. The last 2 nights ago, they were over her
yes,
location. And tell us what's happening. I mean, there are people out there all over that region seeing things. People are seeing all kinds of weird stuff in the sky. Um,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah. It's
So,
been
so,
sorry, I'm hanging out of my window. It's been wild. It's a really eerie feeling, um,
mhm.
because they just hover. They just
Yeah.
hover and then they fly around. I've seen anywhere between 3 to 8 or 9 at a time.
Hmm.
Um,
When you say 3 to 8 at a time, my question is, a lot of times when we see UFOs, a group of UFOs, we call that a fleet or an armada of UFOs. When you see these,
mhm.
are they stopping and staying together with each other, kind of hovering at all, or
Yeah,
no?
they are. No, they are. I, it's they were so close to my house that I was able to see the actual, not just the flashing lights. You guys have to excuse my appearance.
No, you're
I
fine.
wasn't planning on going on camera,
It's
but
okay.
you can see, the flashing lights at a distance or when you're looking in the sky. And a lot of times when people are posting their videos, and I posted my own video, you can't really see the shape of
Hmm.
them or necessarily the size, but
Yeah,
they're fairly big.
yeah. Do you
They're
think?
fairly big, and God,
No, I'm wondering. I find it fascinating. This whole thing has got me so. I can figure things out. I kind of figured some of this out. But do you think they're really like when we talk about shape shifting, like space beings shapeshift? If you heard of the word shape shifting, my friend Colin Andrews and I, he's a well-known crop circle researcher, written many books and lectured all over the world. He told me he thinks that they're. I don't know why he said clone. He thinks that uh, there are UFOs that are being cloned in a different thing. When I talk about that, I think what he means is that these objects are emulating a similarity to something that we would, understand and not be afraid of. Like, why not make a really big drone-looking kind of craft, and people will see them? Oh, that's just a drone. But they are
Right.
basically cloaking themselves. I would work. They have a cloaking mechanism to make it sound. They have a sound like a conventional craft. They look somewhat like a conventional craft. They're way too big to be a drone, so they are basically emulating an Earth-based type thing a little bit, but they're basically spaceships.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm coming to that.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
getting
I've
to that
never,
point.
yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, if that's a thing, you know much better than I do. If that's a thing, then I could see that. Um,
Hmm.
I, I wish they were closer right now, and maybe over time they'll get a little closer because I'm literally counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Hmm.
I think there's about 10 right now.
There's
Um,
about 10 of these things, folks, over her area in southern New Jersey, 10 of them.
yeah,
And they're kind of, are they all
yeah,
kind of, yeah, let's see.
hovering. A
Wow.
couple of them are hovering. One flew out a little further away, but yeah, they're mainly just hovering. And this is
Wow.
nightly. They look like small. Now I had a video taken. One was looked like a small airplane.
Hmm.
And I'm like, nobody's gonna believe that. They're gonna be like, okay, that's an airplane. And
Hmm.
then one was kind of like in a what would look like a hobby drone, but
Right,
much
right.
larger.
Much larger.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, much
Hmm.
larger. Um, the only thing is they're very loud.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like
They
they're
are loud.
cloaking and emulating Earth-based type craft. They make a fake sound like to be loud, but they're basically cloaked spaceships. And that's
Yeah.
no one I've seen any of the videos I've seen, none of the people I've seen, none of the people talking about this are saying, oh, maybe maybe they're so advanced that they're cloaking and emulating some earth-based sound, so they make us not feel afraid of who they are. So why not? And by doing that, people say, oh, this is just a drone. It's a really large drone, but in fact, it's a cloaked spaceship using they can emulate the sound of a aircraft, and they are not an aircraft, and they want you to
Hmm.
look at them as being an aircraft, and you can say, oh, that's just an aircraft, that's just a big drone. Now I've come to a slight
Yeah.
conclusion here, and I'm getting to that point after watching so many videos. I do believe that they are being
Hmm.
cloaked to look a little bit like us, not perfect, and doing things that regular type of craft cannot do. And if you watch some of these videos,
Hmm.
they're all emulating certain things, blinking lights, doing this, doing that, to emulate the things and replicating the things that we would be used to, right? So if an advanced
Yeah.
civilization is able to come here for whatever reason, and I think it's for, I have a lot of reasons why I think they're here. This particular situation is to get people used to the fact that we are going to be here, and you're really going to see what we are and who we are. But now I think we're going to replicate the idea of a big looking drone, or what people call a drone, that doesn't exist. But you're going to pay attention to us. If we do this, you're going to watch us. And what's happening? Everybody all over the place is watching these videos, right?
Here's the bizarre thing. I'm getting ring notifications like as we're on live, and everybody in my surrounding area, like surrounding towns even,
Yeah.
are saying that they're looking at the drones as well. Um, like I said, I counted 10 just in front of me right now. I know people, I just saw today, people in Illinois started posting that the drones are there. I mean, there's
Really?
quite a
Yeah.
number of drones
Yeah.
out in the sky at this point.
Yeah.
So if I'm seeing 10 and my surrounding towns, I mean, granted, we're all looking up at the same sky, but
Hmm. Hmm.
um, you know, there's a lot of them out there, and so
Mm.
you know, my initial thought was government. They know what's going on. They're not telling us. How could the FBI be investigating something and still
Right.
have no answers? I mean, these are there's only so much of a charge that a
Hmm.
drone could fly,
Right.
if you will. And these are out here anywhere from 8 to 1 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah. No
midnight,
drone can be out
even.
that
I mean,
long without
that's
losing its power. You know,
right,
there's no way.
right, exactly. I'm also right by the Philadelphia airport, and
Hmm.
so typically on any given night, I see planes
Hmm.
flying
Yeah.
over to the airport, and I haven't seen any planes.
Really interesting. You know, and I want,
Yeah,
and after doing a lot of research with this, and I believe me, because of my background, I study everything. Uh, I am really at the conclusion that this has nothing to do with China or any other government monitoring us with drones. I finally came to that conclusion. So I'm putting that one question right out of the, I'm throwing that question out. They're not coming from any governments. Definitely not.
okay.
And they're definitely showing up all over the place. They're showing up at Air Force
Yeah,
bases in the United States. They're monitoring nuclear facilities where we have weapons on Air Force bases. The Royal Air Force in Europe, in UK, they had a live stream video which is still up, which I can't believe that the government still has that up. I had downloaded it, and it shows these military people on the base with one of the Air Force personnel recording these so-called UAPs over the Air Force base. And this base has nuclear weapons, and this is for entertainment purposes only, on the base. So all this information I've gathered from
okay.
many weeks of I don't just come on here and throw out words and have an opinion. Everything I have is factual. I do think I'm at the conclusion now that these have nothing to do with a government in England or China or Canada have drones over different countries to monitor different countries. It has nothing to do with terrestrial craft. I think these things are emulating and actually replicating Earth-based type craft with sound, but they're actually not Earth-based craft.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
thought.
yeah. I couldn't imagine it being a different country. I mean, I feel like if
Yeah,
that were the case, they'd be much more discreet. They
yeah, that
wouldn't
would be
be as
more
loud.
discreet. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be
Um,
like that.
yeah, and if that was really the fear, we probably would have done something, about them
Yeah,
months ago, when
and
they first
and then
started
there's a
getting
report
spotted.
that,
Um,
and I heard a report. Now I don't know if this is true. I have to really investigate it a couple more days. But supposedly one of these things crashed in New Jersey somewhere, and I don't know whether
really,
the spotlights on the helicopter are looking for that or somebody made up a story. Have you heard anything about a crashed drone
I have
on the
not.
news locally in your state?
I have
Nothing.
not.
Okay, we're
No,
gonna have to research
no.
that a little bit more.
My chief of police was on CBS. I know that our mayor
Hmm.
has met with a bunch of our surrounding towns, their chiefs,
Hmm.
and they had
Hmm.
meetings along with the FBI. Um, nothing, none of our news has
Yeah,
come out that there was a
yeah.
crash.
And how does your local chief of police and people, what's their opinion? What do they think's going on? What do they have they said specifically what they
They have
feel
no
about it?
idea.
Nothing. They have no
They
idea.
have no
That's what
idea.
they
They
don't know.
just
They have
said
no
send in
idea.
your No idea. They said that
Wow.
they're working alongside the FBI and
Hmm.
surrounding
Hmm.
towns. And if any of us have video footage or tips,
Hmm.
to send it to them.
And we have somebody in Hillsborough, New Jersey, who's seen them, and we're going to bring her up in a few minutes. But now,
Yeah,
supposedly, a
maybe.
town in New Jersey. Go ahead. No, it's good.
No, I was
I
gonna
heard.
say maybe. Yeah. I mean, they're too far right now. If you would have called me,
Yeah.
if I would have called you earlier, I would have gotten a better
Oh,
picture.
I'm
But
on here. I'm on here regularly with the show at 11 o'clock at
oh,
night. Yeah, this is a big show, and so
okay.
I
Yeah,
heard
I
that
just
there was
followed you, so.
and I'm following you too. I heard there was a town
Great.
in New Jersey that was under lockdown. Somebody made a video about it. Is that true?
I don't know. I saw a video of someone in, I want to say Florida. Maybe it was Illinois. I just saw a whole bunch of them. I don't know of any town in New Jersey that was
Yeah.
on lockdown.
Okay, so some video posted on
Mm,
TikTok stating that they showed a video with the police cars, but they were outside of their home, I guess, saying our town is in lockdown because of what's going on. Now, I've not seen any more videos, so I can't really verify that. I'm trying to verify whether a town, and if anyone knows that to be true, and you're in New Jersey, let me know. Let me know about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw one that was saying the exact same thing, but it wasn't New Jersey.
I think it
It
was. So
could
someone said it
totally
was
be
Cape
two different
Cod.
videos.
No, it was Cape Cod. It was Deborah Fox. I think they were drones also seen in
Okay.
New England and Cape Cod. Am I correct about Deborah? Was the lockdown in Cape Cod? Um, yeah, I think it might have been Cape Cod. I heard some. Yeah, Cape Cod had a lockdown
See real
because of the
quick.
drones showing up there in Cape Cod on the coastline. They're showing up now in New England at Cape Cod. Interesting.
Really?
Yeah. I heard about
I'm
the
gonna
Cape
try to
Cod
turn
thing.
this
I
on.
forgot it was Cape Cod. I thought it was New Jersey. It was Cape Cod. Okay. Yeah. So that's actually interesting. And Tanya is trying to show us the drones. These drones are so-called drones were over her location in southern New Jersey, and she's seeing about 10 of them right now. They're too far away to show you them on the camera, her camera, but she's seeing
You
10 of them right now, which we cannot see.
see that? That's way too far away.
Yeah. Yeah. So evidently these particular drones are at a different location in the sky in New Jersey
Yeah.
right now. So were those
Yeah, they
wherever
were
whoever
closer
towns those are,
earlier.
yeah. Closer earlier, yeah. Boy, I wish we're gonna have to keep in touch with each other on my show.
I know.
If they do happen, you just come right on here and I'll put you up here on the show. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A missed opportunity because they were much closer.
Yeah,
And
I know I believe
you
you.
know, to me, like I said, to me, the naked eye, the flashing lights, it looks so bright. And then I turn my camera around, it's like pitch
Yeah,
dark.
yeah.
So I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah,
not
we haven't now I'm in
not
Connecticut
really
and
helping
I've
you out
been
here.
No, no problem. I've been looking for these objects to appear in Connecticut. My background is that we have a group here that does CE5, contact extraterrestrial intelligence, and so I'm very well versed in what is conventional aircraft, from the space station to comets, satellites going across the sky, to conventional aircraft, military craft. I'm very familiar with all that, and so there's nothing that gets past me because I have a background in this area. Tommy, thank you for the video that you sent. And so I think what we're trying to do is this stuff is really happening. And we're spending a night here tonight talking to people in anywhere in the world that are seeing these objects. And I really have come to a conclusion. I didn't just come overnight to this conclusion. I spent many weeks looking at a lot of video footage and seeing these objects and some of the really clear close-up videos. And I think they are replicating, and they are probably extraterrestrial craft that are replicating Earth-based looking type of things. They're cloaked. So basically, they're cloaking themselves in something that we would be familiar with, right? Does that make sense to everybody? Why would you not
Yeah,
cloak into
it
something
makes complete sense.
right? So yeah, they're cloaking. They're actually cloaking to look like something we would be. It's just a big drone somebody has. Maybe a company, maybe the airline has a drone they're using. Maybe a weather company is using this big drone. Why not? Cloak something that replicates something we're familiar with, but inside the cloak something is a spaceship, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And it actually kind of makes the fact that in one of the videos that I took, one looked like it looked like two different shapes, if you will. One
Yeah.
looking identical to a plane.
Mm-hmm.
The one video that I got where I got it super, super close, like I said, it looked just like a plane. And I was kind of scared to show people that because, there's a lot of people, a lot of mean people out on the internet. And, from what I've been seeing with, the whole
Well,
drone
my
talk,
live
everybody's like,
here, we have
you're crazy, it's a
moderators.
plane.
We have moderators on here. My show, we have none of that. We if we say we're coming here trying to make jokes with people, we take them right out. They're blocked. So no
Yeah.
worries.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I so what would be your thought as to like if like would it even be possible to be cloning or
Yeah.
would it be possible to be this congested in the air
No,
with
yeah.
these?
When
It
you're
would.
dealing with extraterrestrial craft, the fact that they're able to now cloak themselves and make their outer self appearance look like something that we would not be, oh, that's just a, now they're coming in, now they're every day, they're every night they're showing up. Oh yeah, I'm used to them. Those are just a bunch of big so-called drones. Nobody knows
Mhm.
what they are, but they're calling in drones. Oh, no big deal. I'm going home for dinner. That's the kind of thinking, right? I'm going home from work. I see one of these things or 10 of them. Oh, it's a bunch of, maybe it's a company or something. No big deal. I'm going home to dinner. You know, so what I'm trying to say to everybody around the world is I've come to the conclusion, and I think it's the right conclusion after studying these things since it began and looking at so many different types of videos. I'm at the conclusion that these things, like my friend Colin Andrews is saying, the word cloning, which I just use the word cloaking, cloning, cloaking, same thing.
Mhm.
They're making it look like there's something that would be relative to something we would create. In 2024, why not? We could create something that's that big, but they're
Yeah,
not. They're actually cloaked spaceships. That's where I'm going. I'm not finally
that's
going.
interesting.
Telling people my audience, I don't think they're these so-called cloned these actual big objects that China has or Russia's bringing over. I think they're not from this world. I think they're cloaking and cloning into something that we are familiar with. No, they're
That's
not fallen
interesting.
angels. They are cloaked spaceships, Carter T. Stop with the fallen angels. All these people with the fallen angels things come into these discussions. It is a cloaked, I'm coming to the conclusion, it is a cloaked spaceship. Okay?
Here's the thing
Or
that
ships.
kind of scared me about it, right? When I first
Mm-hmm.
saw it, it's like, well, when I heard they were in New Jersey, I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then when I
Yeah.
saw them where I am, I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And just watching how many there were and their patterns and everything, it was a really eerie feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And now that it's been, for so long, I say so long, it hasn't been that long, but
Right.
it's normal. Like, I'm just on TikTok scrolling and it's
Right.
a discussion and I'm like, I'm looking out and I know you guys, I apologize again, but I know you guys can't see them, but I'm looking out and I see a ton of them. I mean, every night
Right.
I've got every day, all night or every night, I've got ring notifications going off.
Yeah.
And now it's just, I don't even get up to go look outside anymore, really. It's
Yeah.
just kind of become normal. And that's what scares me about it is that
Well,
like
that's the thing. Like I'm saying, it
drones
becomes
flying
normal.
around have been the new normal
Okay.
now.
But I wouldn't be scared. That's the thing. I wouldn't be. I'd want to help you. I mean, I'm not in your shoes there to see them, but I wouldn't be scared. Like I said, if it is what I think it is, they're replicating what we understand in our consciousness as these big objects that are some sort of advanced aircraft that we would have, but they're not. They're basically cloaked spaceships. Now, I'm not saying cloaked UFOs. That I can say unidentified flying objects. I can say unidentified aerial phenomena. The new terminology that the Pentagon comes with. I don't care about the terminology. I'll just say it the
Yeah.
way it is. I really do think I'm not saying all of them are, but I think there's a good portion of them that are definitely replicating what we in our consciousness would be acceptable. And the thing is, the reason, and someone says, why can't they capture one? Or, no, our government, the governments of the world that are seeing these things, they're not going to take them down. I'm going to be careful with my wordage here, and this is for entertainment purposes only. If you take something down that is not from our particular realm, why would you do that? Why do you want to capture something? Why not try to
Right.
learn what it is instead of trying to capture something? We have to capture something? No, leave it alone. Let's try to figure out what's happening. Let's try to educate ourselves as to who they are, where they're coming from, and why they're here. If we are willing to do that and educate ourselves instead of saying, oh, we got to capture them, we got to take one down. No, that's exactly the mentality that creates war in our societies. Now let's do this. You
Yeah.
do this. I'll do this. I'm going to take your land. You take my land. You're going to start a conflict. That's the wrong mental attitude that human beings take. I think we need to look at this and try to learn from what's happening here because I think something very amazing is happening and we shouldn't be afraid of it. I think something extraordinary is happening that is the beginning of something that's going to be way bigger than we even know about.
Yeah, yeah. And listen, if you are correct in your theories, it scared me because like right now we truly don't know what it is. If
Hmm.
it is if it's extraterrestrial,
Hmm.
like I'm like beam me up, Scotty. You know, I would open to communicating. I would be open. I don't necessarily have a fear of that. I'm very open-minded
I know
when
you
it
are.
comes to things like that. I probably would be taken back. I mean, it might scare me a little, but
Hmm.
but I do agree with you. I think would be a really interesting and probably mind-blowing experience and just
Mm.
like a beautiful thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely I definitely think that we have learned from them over the years.
Yeah.
Um,
You know,
I
I
think
think
with our technology, we've made a huge leap in
oh
a
yeah,
short amount of
absolutely.
years.
Yeah.
To not think
Amazing
that
stuff.
there
Yeah.
right, to not think that
Right.
there hasn't been, you know, any
Yeah. No,
communication with them
any
thus far.
communication, and I think also the Pentagon Secretary for the media for the Pentagon came out with a statement last week for people that missed it, and they weren't telling people too much of anything. They have obviously, let me put it this way: the governments of the world, the UK, the Ministry of Defense, the China, all these countries, doesn't matter where it is, any nation that has a department that focuses on their own air forces and everything else, they have departments that are looking at this. Don't kid yourself that this thing, it's not just happening in New Jersey, it's happening in other parts of the country. It's happening,
Yeah,
it's just the focus has been on New Jersey, but it's happening everywhere. And the question you have to ask yourself is, why now is it happening at the end of 2024? Why is this starting to happen? What's the now everyone can have a theory as to why. That's great. In this discussion, I want to have this discussion. I want to have, the realms of discussion as to why this is happening. Now, I've talked about on my show, and I've talked about it continuously, not this thing, but that we are going to have contact with actual space people. And I say the word people, not aliens, people from other worlds. And that's going to be in 2026. Now, with this thing happening, it threw me off a little bit because I've been, spending weeks trying to quietly understand this. And I think I don't know where this is coming from or why it's happening like this, but I think there is an intelligence that's trying to tell us we're here. This is what we're going to show you now, so you're not going to just, be afraid and run out, just get in your car and run out of the state of New Jersey or the state of Illinois or leave England or something and come to Canada.
mm,
I think what they're trying to do is show you that they are here, emulate the noise and sound of a plane or a jet, and they aren't a plane or a jet. They can emulate a fake sound and make you say, that's just a helicopter. When in fact it's not even a helicopter, right? You know,
right.
but we now think it's a helicopter because it's emulating it. So, it's nothing, no big deal. So someone goes on TikTok and said, I have a video here. It's nothing but a helicopter, right? But it's not a helicopter. It's not a jet. It's not a plane. It's not even a drone. The darn thing is a cloaked spaceship, right?
Yeah,
Has anybody
and
out there
and
thought about that? Go ahead.
yeah, absolutely. What I've noticed is that it's really kind of unfortunately, maybe this is just the human experience, but unfortunately, it's made everybody kind of go at each other.
Yeah,
You sound like an idiot, and it's not a
right,
drone, and everybody knows better than the next person as
right. That's
to
right.
what it is. Somebody posts a picture and
Hmm.
everybody's fighting whether it's a plane or not. So,
Right.
in a sense, it's created kind of a divide between people, and
Yeah.
kind of chaos. And so maybe that could be part of this learning experience
Right. You
that
know.
they're trying to teach us is that, it's okay to have different opinions, but we're going to have to come together
Yeah.
for the greater good here.
And we're going to
Um,
bring Jason up too. Jason, if you're in the queue, I think it's Jason. Also, if Jason wants to come and join us, I don't know where Jason is. Jason can join us in the discussion here. I didn't see Jason's name. If Jason's there, is Jason in New Jersey? Where's Jason? I don't see Jason on the screen here. And we have Tiny Mama in southern New Jersey, and we're talking about in the distance, she sees 10 of these drones right now as we speak. Okay.
Yeah, let me see how many there are. Yeah.
Where is Jason? His name is Jason. Let me see if I can find Jason here. I don't see a Jason. I see Rachel. Rachel, I don't see Jason. And please, everybody tap the screen.
I
That's
know
another
there's.
thing. Yeah, please follow me and please like. Everybody press the screen. You see on the top right corner, it says 32.1. That number will not change unless you tap, and that's the heart. So when you tap my screen on my side, it makes the numbers go up. So please, we want to get to about 100,000 likes tonight, which is not undoable, but everybody has to be involved. Let's see, they caught one in the ring bell camera. Let's see here. And Rachel wants to come up too. Rachel, can you tell us a little bit about what's happening in Florida? Are you seeing these things in Florida? She said, I'm pretty sure she's in Florida. And you're watching Encounters, and we have Tiny Mama in southern New Jersey with us right now, and we're going to try to get some more stuff happening. Thank you for the gifts.
Yeah, thank you
Let's
for
see
the
here.
gifts, everyone. Everyone's pretty kind
And,
in your
uh,
in
my
your chat.
broadcast. Well, I do a talk show, so I'm on radio for 21 years, and I have some great moderators, and we just take people out if they're not going to be good. We just take them out. We don't
Right.
give. If they start joking around, they're out of here. If they start making crazy comments, they're out of here. Um,
Thanks, guys.
I don't think the Jason person's here. I'm going to bring up. A person in Oregon says orange orb on camera the other night. It's happening more and more. So I'm going to bring some people. I'm going to bring the person up in Florida to join us. Let's see here. Rachel. Rachel's coming up with us. You're watching Encounters, folks, all over the planet. The number one spiritual UFO talk show. I'm host, CmdrAleon. Rachel, the Florida. Welcome.
Hey, I thought, okay, my picture is showing up down in the comments, but it's not showing up here. I actually did change my picture, but I'll show you. I got this.
Can you bring your?
Let me.
Can you switch your camera on and save it or
Yep.
accept
Let me
this? Okay,
see.
good.
Let me see. Yep. I'll take and do that.
We have Rachel
Let
here
me-
in Tiny Mama, New Jersey. Rachel's in Florida, and you're watching Encounters.
Okay. Let me see if I can do it this way, and then find my pictures. Let me see. I'm trying to find my. Oh, wait, right here. Okay. There's this. Well, did I do it?
Thank you for the gifts. Thank you, Spiritual. We appreciate that very much.
Okay. Okay, this right here, you can see the moon. And right over in your right hand
I'm going
side.
to bring you up on the screen. Let me just bring you up here.
Okay. I took this about a month ago. It was a craft coming in. It was fairly large. You can see the moon. And you can see if you take the picture and screenshot it and then blow it up, there's lights going around it. It was quite large.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like last month.
Last month, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what did these lights look like? Can you tell everybody what they actually physically look like to you?
It was just this one. This one to me was just had lights going around it. It wasn't, they weren't like moving. It was just lit up around the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
They weren't moving around. The other one I'll show you is, let me see. Let me see if I can find the other ones.
And
This
Junior
one,
Ramirez, a lot of times they're blurry because a lot of times these objects emit a frequency that affects cameras. But anyway, well, this looks interesting. Can you tell us about this one? It's hard to see
okay.
the picture too good. It's like it looks like the reflection.
Right. I let my dogs out to go to the bathroom at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I seen three crafts. This is one craft. It had lights like this going around it. And there was three crafts, and two of them had this color light, and the very last craft had white lights going around it, and they were like moving in a circle around it.
What is the pinkish color? Is that what is that in the picture? The pink
That's
looking
the
color?
lights that were going around it. That's the lights that were on it.
So those were the UFOs or the UAP craft that you were recording, that you were taking pictures of. Interesting. Is that a video recording that you have?
No, and then let me see. I got one that's not too good, but I tried to get outside to take a picture of it. Let me see.
She's in
One,
Florida, 300. She's in the state of Florida.
Okay. This one I took and went outside as it was going over our house. I caught the very end of it. So I was physically standing outside then when I took the picture of it. And like I said, there were 3 of them. And the weird thing is that my dogs didn't bother to make any commotion. They didn't look up at them. There was no sound. There was there was no sound at all. There was no wind blowing from them flying over, nothing. It was so silent.
Someone's asking, are you on the coastline of Florida?
Yeah, I'm right. I'm probably, I'm about 10 minutes from driving on to Daytona Beach.
Oh, you're right on the Atlantic coastline. I gotcha. And it looks, if everyone looks, you can see 2 little dots. Was it 1 object or 2 objects?
That's one because
that's 1 whole object. Okay.
Right. That's one because the lights were going around it like that. They were like moving around it.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yep. Very interesting.
Yep. This picture, the picture that I have up is the one that I took that was literally right above my house.
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay.
But this is the one that I keep saying looks like an airplane. And nobody's going to believe me that it was like a drone that was hovering.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Well, I want to thank you, man. People are going crazy. There's a lot. I think a lot of people have stuff they want to share regarding these drones and what you're seeing. And have you noticed in Florida a lot of? I know there's been a lot of sightings this year, just in general. Are you seeing an uptake in sightings in your area?
Yeah. There's a lot of people that are taking videos over the ocean.
Yeah.
In their backyards,
Interesting. All right, Rachel, I want to thank you for reporting your information. That's what it's all about here. I'm on here at 11 o'clock nightly. I've been involved as a contactee. I have my own experiences since I was a kid. I've seen many what I call spaceships or UFOs, and I'm a professional broadcaster. So I really do appreciate you. I'm following you now too. So I am following you as well.
Okay. I'll keep you updated. If I find any more, I'll let you know.
Yeah, if you have anything happening down there, this is what it's about. We have relationships all over the world with people that come on the show. You're the eyes and ears of what you see down in Florida or in England or in the Netherlands or wherever. Come on and give us updates if you have them too.
Yeah, my daughter. Real quick, I'll do this and then I'll hop back down. Yeah. My granddaughter was here just a few weeks ago, and she had the telescope out on the deck, and she was looking at the moon, and we actually watched something land on the moon, and we actually was able to, with our phone cameras, zoom into that and take a picture of it. And it was just like a little whatever it was, and it went right up next to the moon. It was pretty amazing. We don't know what it was, but
all right. Well, I'm going to bring you down, Jason. This person, Jason. I'm going to try. Oh, thank you very much, Jason. I want to bring Jason up next. Let me do this here, and I'm going to go back to my normal screen for a minute here. Okay, Jason, can you make a comment so I know who you are? Jason. I don't know who's the Jason. Is he under a different name? Jason, go into the queue and I'll bring you up. And this is Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. I'm not seeing the person Jason that people are talking about. Jason, I want to see you so I can bring you up. No, it's just Jason. Where's Jason? Okay, we're looking for Jason. And to go into the multi-guest option, Jason, I'll bring you up. Jason, click on multi-guest. Yeah, Jason, click on the multi-guest option, on your TikTok, and I'll bring you up here. And Tiny Mama, what are we looking at right there?
So that's the one that was right above my house
Oh, that's a
2 nights
picture of the
ago.
actual drone. Yeah, 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Pretty crazy, you know?
That's one. So that's one of the shapes that it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, kind of looks like an airplane.
Yeah.
And then let me see. I have other.
Thank you, Mascot, for the follow. I appreciate that.
There's
Oh, that's a
this.
different
This
one
was,
too. Look at that.
yeah, that's from I posted a video, and that's from a screenshot of my video.
Oh, wow.
I wish that I could play the videos that I
Yeah,
have,
I
but
wonder if there's a way to do that. You know, I don't know why one cannot play videos on here. Now, there's a really clear photo. That's pretty good. Could you describe
this,
that?
yeah, so this is the one. Oh, sorry. Let me go back to it. So the very first one I showed you that I said, kind of looked like an airplane.
Mm-hmm.
That was a completely different shape than this one. This one had like the 4 points.
Yeah.
The one with the airplane. Oh yeah, thanks, DHMY Productions. That yeah, I do have the video up, but this was a very different shape.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, this kind of
Yeah, it
had
looks
like
very,
the four corners
yeah,
like an actual like a drone,
like
a
a
hobby
drone.
drone that you would see.
Was that one
And then
pretty big?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
How big was that? This one here, how big was it?
This one was, I would say, I mean, I hate to be cliche, but like a small SUV, like people have been
Yeah,
explaining.
yeah.
Um,
Someone says it looks like a star in the
yeah,
photo.
yeah, that's
Looks like a
kind of,
star.
yeah, that's kind of what it looked like, like one of those 4-point stars.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing I'm thinking is that that's why I've come to the theory. And again, this is only a theory, but I think it's a good one compared to everything else I've heard out there trying to explain this thing. I think they are replicating things that would be relatively sensible to most human beings. And in fact, they are basically spaceships. You know, they replicate
Uh,
sound, replicate colors. I think my theory is pretty good.
yeah, I'll go with your theory for sure
Yeah.
because, I mean, I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah.
It's
No, you're
very
doing a
odd.
great job. You're doing a great job of sharing what you have. And that to me is really important. And I'm hoping if other people want to come up here and share, if you're seeing these things in other parts of the world, please go on the multi-guest option. We're talking about these drones, and not just in New Jersey. They've been seen on Air Force bases over the United States, over Air Force bases at the Royal Air Force bases over in England and some in different bases, and then also in Russia. We don't hear about Russia, but Russian Air Force bases have also had these objects over their bases too. It's not just in one area; it's happening everywhere. Somebody that was on here earlier commenting said we're seeing them in Illinois too. It makes sense. Why would they be congested to one specific area? Why would they not be seen in other parts of the world? It's just that we're not hearing about it in other countries. So if someone's in Sweden or Norway or somebody's in, let's say, Lithuania or some other place, they could be seeing the same thing right now, but our media in the United States is not showing those other countries what they're seeing. I would wager that there are other countries experiencing the same thing right now. Who wants to put a bet on that? I would wager that there are other nations, even small islands in the Pacific and other places that are now experiencing this, but the major media is not reporting it. They're reporting what they are reporting in the US media, which is once in a while they show New Jersey and they interview people, it got to the national media in the United States, but let's see how long the national media keeps covering it. I doubt they will continue with it. They have to continue on their news cycle. ABC is owned by Disney, so they're going to talk about Disney World and Disney movies and a little bit of news and whatever. But essentially, the only place you're going to find out about this on a regular basis is right here on Encounters. the #1 spiritual talk show on social media. And I'm your host, CmdrAleon. Welcome to the show, everybody. If you're just finding the show, please follow us, please like us, and please tap. That's really important too. Are they dangerous, Jerusalem? I don't think they're dangerous. If these objects that are emulating Earth-based craft were dangerous, they would have done something. They would have done something to show they're dangerous. They would have maybe, War of the Worlds type thing, taken out a town, or, landed their things and ugly space beings come out and start terrorizing people in a small little town in New Jersey or something. So if you get my drift, if they were dangerous, if these particular intelligences were dangerous, they would have done something to show us they were dangerous. But so far, they've done absolutely nothing to show us that they are dangerous. So therefore, I've come to the conclusion that they're not planning to be dangerous. They aren't dangerous, and they're actually trying to make us feel comfortable with the fact that they are here in a way that we will not be afraid. Does that make sense to people? It makes sense to me. Let me see here.
If it was nefarious, them, being this, that close to my house, especially the other night, literally above my house. I was hanging out this same window because, I was a little nervous to go outside, to be honest with you. And although they probably saw me hanging out of my window anyway,
Oh yeah. The
but
thing
if
is,
they were
they probably did
nefarious
see
in
you.
nature, yeah,
Right.
I know.
The key word. This is the thing. You just said something amazing. I picked on. That they actually do see you. They're watching you.
Yeah.
They're observing your mannerisms. They're watching what you just said. Point on. They're watching the response of human beings in these different places to see how we are going to respond to them. Are we going to be afraid of them? Are we going to jump out the window and freak out? Are we going to be calm and say, "Oh, I'd like to know who you are"? Or what are we going to do? What are you going to do? You just made a good point. They're watching you. Your inner sense, it's not your brain telling you that. Your inner sense, that somebody or somebody's, whether these things are unmanned and there's a mothership sending things. I think a lot of these things might be unmanned by a big, larger spaceship, and that the ship is way out, up, away where no one can see it or be detected on radar. They're sending these things down unmanned for the most part to observe the human response. They want to know what the human response is going to be. I think that's exactly what they're doing. Absolutely.
That makes sense.
Point on. Let's see who else we got here. We're going to bring on some other people into this discussion. I'm going to just randomly bring in Play in the Dirt. Play in the Dirt's our next. You have to be over 18. No foul language, no smoking, no vaping, no drinking, no drugs, paranormal discussion, religion, or politics. Play in the Dirt. Welcome to the show. Where are you located?
Good. Doing good. How are y'all?
We're doing good. And whereabouts are you located?
I'm in Oregon.
Oregon. Okay, I'm following you. Can you come on camera?
Not at the moment. I'm kind of sick.
Okay.
I had a question.
Don't worry about it. Yeah,
I was just kind of wondering what your thoughts are on if these things are coming over military bases, and we already know that, could be as considered a military threat when you have planes or whatever craft flying over military bases, and nobody's trying to attempt to shoot them down. It kind of makes me question that. So the fact that our military wouldn't be trying to attempt to try to shoot one down, being that they're over the military base. I guess that's kind of my question on that.
Okay, and the answer I'll give you without any question is, if you shoot down something that that your higher-ups know is not one of ours, that is a extraterrestrial craft, UAP, UFO, looking like a drone thing, and they know it's not a drone, and if they're smart enough, the people in the upper echelons will say, wait a minute, they're replicating what we know, and they're just replicating what we know, and we better not do this. This is not the thing to do. I think that the reason why that nothing is being shot at is because somebody up there in the higher levels of the Pentagon or the Ministry of Defense, they know these things are not Earth-based. They're coming publicly. Now, the Pentagon and other authorities will say, oh, they're big drones. I've come to my theory and my conclusion after really examining all these videos, hearing the press conference by the Pentagon last week. My conclusional theory is that they're replicating what we understand. They're going over these military bases that have nuclear weapons because we've been talking about the threat of nuclear war on our planet recently.
True.
If anyone had, that's the truth, right? I mean, unless you have your head in the sand, that's the only little bit of news I do watch, that there has been talk and threats by Russia and other countries, of this thing. So why would they not go over these bases that have nuclear weapons, and they're watching what we do? And in fact, if we were to even attempt to use those weapons, they can neutralize the electrical systems on those bases. Those nuclear weapons would be dismantled in 2 seconds.
I've heard that too.
They can be. I know this to be true.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the answer, and you all have a good evening.
You too, man. I appreciate you coming up here. Thanks for being up here. And let's see who else we might hear. We're going to bring people up here. We're focused on this whole thing. No, we're going to do abduction stories tomorrow night, and general stuff. That's tomorrow night. Let's see.
That's cool. I'd tune in for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We get into everything. Experiences like that. Let's see here. We're going to bring up. I think. Let's see, Steve. We got a lot of people in here. We're going to get to everybody. We got a whole lot of people in here. So let me bring.
Feel free to kick me down when you want to.
Okay. I'll bring you down now. I'll bring it. Well, I'll bring you. I'll keep you up here if people have questions for you too. So I'm going to do this here. Let me see in the guest option. I'm going to be very random here. I'm going to take Mascot and bring Mascot up, and Mascot's our next guest. The Real J will bring you guys up too after we're going to try to do one more here. Mascot, welcome to Encounters.
How's it going?
We're doing good. And yourself? Can you hear me? Hello?
Great. Yeah, great.
Okay, and let me see here. Can you...
I'm on the borderline.
No problem. I hear you. So what would you like to share with us? So we're talking about all these things about these so-called drones that people are seeing all over the place.
Well, yeah, that's true, and there's a combination of those to distract because, I mean, everybody's seen the sky art that these drones are creating. So, I mean,
Right.
that's one issue. I have several videos, including a 360 video of an encounter, and it keeps getting pulled down. I don't know how much more evidence you can get. It's in 360. I've brought it down and I've followed it and I've changed the aperture of just to see the heat temperatures and whatnot coming from the vehicle, and it's almost 3 times the size of a commercial airline. So I thought it was one of I shouldn't mention names, but who makes rockets. So anyways, I thought it was one of his. So I did tag him, and then all of a sudden, all my stuff I lost 75 videos. I have massive amounts of those that I've taken myself.
Can you, would you be willing to send to the show, to my email, one of those videos that I can possibly show here? This is a big show. I can probably show it here and not have any problems. For entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm going to give you my email. I'd like to see that.
Well, so it's you can do with them what you want. I don't want any compensation or anything. I just need to get the stuff out there, right?
Yeah, this show here is I've been on radio for 21 years, and I'm a professional DJ. I've been a news director, and they pretty much leave me alone on here because I do the show. I don't, I'm doing a show. But if you email me to CmdrAleon at AOL.com. Again, CmdrAleon. CmdrAleon at AOL.com. I'll get the video and I'll transfer it over, and I can show it through my iPad. I can show the video for entertainment purposes only, and I'd be happy to do it.
What we could do is, if you're friending me up, I'll just drop a couple in the messaging, or you could pull it straight from my feed on my page, or that works.
Sounds great.
I can't.
All right. Well, I appreciate.
So.
No worries. I'm glad you came up. So I appreciate you. I'm on here. I've been on here for 2 years, and if you're new to the show, I appreciate that. We have a really big show on here, one of the biggest shows on the subject, and so I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you too for doing this. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're about disclosure here. Absolutely. I'm bringing down everyone. I want to thank the Mascot. We have Tiny Mama in southern New Jersey. She's got about 10 of these drones in the distance right now. They have been over top her location earlier in the evening. They're now distant, about 10 of them. She's watching. Let me see here. And
it's so
again, you have to be,
frustrating because they're
yeah,
blinking pretty bright and they're not
yeah,
translating onto the live.
yeah. No, it happens. It's
It's
not your
like,
fault. It's, yeah,
it's so frustrating.
yeah.
I keep turning
Well, the
my
funny thing
camera around
is,
like a crazy person.
when we go off before 1 o'clock, they'll probably show up overnight over your location. If it's what I think it
I
is. Yeah.
mean, seriously.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And let's bring up some more people.
It's bizarre to me.
I'm going to bring up the real Jay, and then we're going to bring up a few other people. We have Jerusalem. I have a True, who's a recent guest, Charles Gorman, James as well. We're going to, we are going to get to everybody. So, be patient. Let me see here. And I never found that the James person who wanted to come up, I was never able to see them. So unfortunately, wasn't able to see them. So if you're in any part of the world and you're seeing these things that the governments are saying are big drones, please make a comment in the comment section. And so I know your comment, where you are and what's happening. Okay. I was always, I'm in New Jersey. David. So David's in New Jersey. Let's bring David up here. David, you got to change your setting. Go out, David and change your setting. Change your setting to public. We'll bring you up here, another New Jersey person. And if anyone, it's not just New Jersey, wherever you are in the world, if you're seeing these things happening right now for the last few weeks where you live, please make a comment and let me know, okay? Let me know right now where you are. The Real J. So we're going to bring up the Real J. They're in New Jersey. And I know the Real J. They've been on the show before. I'm bringing them on. The Real J is another New Jersey person that's been on our.
Hey, what's up, Commander? How are you?
We're doing good. And Tiny Mama's in Southern Jersey. Whereabouts in New Jersey are you, Real J?
I'm in North Jersey, and it was absolutely crazy.
Can you turn your camera on?
I can't right now because it's kind of late. I don't want to wake up my daughter. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I was okay. So I was in. I went downstairs to check out these drones, and I think that I seen the drones. But here's the thing. When it comes to these other places that are being, invaded by drones, and then here, their drones look like little spotlights. Over here, they look like huge planes.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, Commander, I want to send you a video because it's seriously like amazing. Like these things just were hovering very, very low, and they were going very slow. And they kept going, like coming from the same exact like location, one after another, after another, after another. I don't know if they were planes. I really don't, but I really think that they were drones because they were huge. They looked like the size of an SUV.
Right. So what was your when you were looking at this? Go ahead, Tiny Mama.
No, I was asking him, is this exactly what you saw as well? I'm in South Jersey.
Well,
it looks like a plane.
She's documenting
exactly
them.
A plane. Yep.
What did you feel, the Real Jay, when you were seeing them? Like, I always very interested, not what you think. What did you feel looking at it? Did you feel like they were monitoring you, that you were being monitored or something?
I just felt like I was living in a sci-fi movie. Like I couldn't believe like what I was seeing. Like I'm like, am I dreaming or something? Like how is this possible? I kind of felt a little fearful too because I don't know what's gonna happen.
Right.
I'm concerned about my daughter. I'm concerned about my fiance. I want to make sure that they're safe and everything. And knowing that there's these these drones the size of like SUVs coming out of the clear blue.
That's right.
Like, what is going on?
And at first, the population watching the national news, ABC did a report about it the other day in the Good Morning America or whatever, the Disney Channel. And, they're telling people there are local news stations in different states where these are happening in New Jersey, reporting on this stuff now. And, the local news is very interested. The national news is interested because it's a big deal. when you get the Pentagon folks having a press briefing conference last week on the subject of this, and they say, and a woman who's a news reporter asked the media person who has all these medals on him, and they ask very direct questions. Can you tell us anything specifically that you know? And then the guy says, "Oh yeah, we have information, but it's top secret. We can't tell you."
Exactly.
Why have a press conference? Why have a press conference and say it's classified when people all over the world are seeing these things, and you're telling me it's classified? You can't tell the press what it is that's classified.
And the whole purpose of the meeting was to, you know what's going on with the drones. Then they're going to talk about it, and it's going to be in a classified room. But I mean, come on, that just tells me that what are they planning? Like, what are they talking about that they don't want to tell us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the case.
So what do you think is going on? Like, do you think this is like, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist or anything, but do you think this could be alien invasion that we're going through?
No. So let me say that there's no alien invasion. I want to get people on because this show is so big. I want people there's not an ET. There's no answer. No aliens don't exist. Number one, and there's no ET invasion of our planet. That's not happening. And then when that whole thing was about December 3rd and the 5th being an invasion, nothing happened. You know why? Because somebody created the fear-based theory that there's going to be some sort of invasion, made it up, and there's not been an invasion of our planet. These particular objects are not invading our planet. First of all, I want to make it really clear because I've been involved in this subject for a lot of years as a contactee. There's a lot of things I know. I will tell you, if there was going to be an invasion of Earth, like War of the Worlds, it would have, and this was really happening, then how come these so-called objects aren't beaming beams of things, destroying buildings or, Air Force bases or hospitals? You know why they're not doing it? Because they're not here to invade us. I think our minds are we get thinking, oh no, we're going to be invaded now. These things are not drones. They're just waiting for the right time to invade our New Jersey or New York or England or whatever. No, I want people to feel less fear and try to understand that that's not what's happening. I think what's happening is there is a higher intelligence that is emulating Earth-based type craft. That's not Earth-based type craft. That's actually cloaked, that these things are unmanned monitoring systems from a large spaceship that are being sent here to probe and monitor what we're doing right now to our planet, because we've been pretty violent on our Earth. We've been creating wars. Look at our own Earth. We're the ones creating conflict here. We polluted our planet. We've been poisoned in our oceans. We've used nuclear weapons and test bombs during the 60s. We did Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and we're looking and waiting for an alien invasion from people that are trying to come here and are not invading us, right? No one's invading us. We're invading ourselves. We're basically messed up our planet. We don't have to worry about any invasions, really. So, look at what's around us, right?
So I'm trying to understand what you said. So you said that people are doing it from a higher intelligence in a space. Is that what you just said?
No, what I said is that there is a higher intelligence,
right,
that is probably in a large spaceship sending these things down all over the world to monitor Air Force bases that have nuclear weapons, which happens to be true right now, over in England and also the United States. They're over bases that have nuclear weapons. Why are they over these bases? They're not over the bases to invade the Air Force bases. They're over these places to prevent us from using these nuclear weapons. They're monitoring us and trying to figure out what we're planning to do. Some of these people that are leaders of countries have thrown out some really dangerous rhetoric about nuclear bombs and weapons. And and I know that is the truth. You've heard it on the news. It's been in our U.S. news. And again, if they were going to invade our planet, they would have done it already. They would have done it 70 years ago. They would have done it 10 years ago. They would have done it yesterday. We're not having an invasion. If you hear anybody on YouTube or on TikTok saying, folks, get ready for an invasion, don't believe any of those people. Either they're government people or somebody out there that just wants to create a fear-based thing to get people to follow them. Don't believe it, folks. I'm telling you the truth. You're not going to be invaded. Matter of fact, let me put it this way. If I tell you some things here, as I am a talk show host, I am also a star seed. What is a star seed? For people that don't know what that is. So I've
I do.
defined what the star seed is. I am not from this planet. My consciousness is earth based. I have a job. I've been to high school. I played soccer. I did everything a normal person does. But the thing is, I know who I am. I'm activated. I'm in contact with my space parents directly. I don't channel anything. I don't have pendulums. I don't have crystal balls or neon lights behind me. I'm the real deal. I am the real deal. So when I tell you this stuff, I want you to know if you're never having these experiences, I'm here to also on the show educate you that there's going to be things coming up now where people are going to say, ET invasion, they're here to get us, and yet they're not getting us because there's no ET invasion. That's all a fallacy. It's not going to happen. There are space people, men and women like us from other planets that are now going to be coming here, and they have always been here. They've been here for billions of years. They're in our oceans. They're in the inner earth. There's a lot of things here that exist, and I'll get into a lot of that tomorrow night. But I'm giving you some real good information, folks, that you're not going to get on any other TikTok, that's just doing a thing to talk about things, or on YouTube. I'm giving you real information. I don't want people to be afraid of what's happening here. It's definitely going to shake things up for the mental part of the brain. You're being shaken up, right? Your brain is being totally shaken up by this. I understand that. To be honest, that's what's happening. Some people are freaking out. They've never seen this before. They don't want to know what's going on. In a good way, it's good to shake the foundations of getting you out of your dream state, the sleepy state, right? The humans that are sleeping, that are going about their daily work, going to the market, getting their Christmas presents for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate, you go. That's the mode you're in. And going to see the Jingle Bell commercials on TV, on CBS News or whatever it is, right? That's what you've been told to believe. That's what they got you doing. And then when this happens and you see 10 of these things flowing in front of your town, you're saying, what the heck's going on here? Oh, I better hide in my basement. No, they're not coming here to take over the planet. They're coming here to help us. The space people that are coming here to assist our planet. They're coming here to help correct the wrongs that we created on our planet for billions of years. It's not just our current civilization. This happened during the Roman Empire. This happened during Atlantis, Lemuria. There's been many civilizations here. This planet is billions of years old. Now, do you think a planet that's billions of years old only started having life on the United States, what we call the U.S., in the 1800s, 1700s, 1600s? Do you think before Rome there was nothing? Do you think in Egypt that there was something not there before the pyramids? You've been so much lied to in the history of this planet about what this planet is that people have been accepting the lies. We all went through high school. We all went through junior high school. We went through it doesn't matter if we went to college or not. We've all been lied to, you see? And my whole thing is to bust the matrix and to shake things up here. My whole thing is to say, no, you don't get away with that anymore, Pentagon. No leader of the countries of any world get away with this anymore. I'm on here to tell you the truth. You've been deceived. You've been lied to. This is for entertainment purposes only. I have a lot of information. I've talked to people who've had top security clearance, and they know what's going on. These people have come forward on my show. I can tell you, you've been lied to, brainwashed. Don't be brainwashed. Don't be lied to. Don't accept the things that are told on the news about these things. They're lying to you. They're trying to get you to think, here's a story about drones. Now let's go on to the next Disney movie that's coming out on Good Morning America, and let's bring on some of the characters. You see, they want to keep you asleep. But don't be asleep, and don't be a sheep, and don't be asleep. I can write a song about that whole thing. Don't be asleep, and don't be a sheep. Don't be asleep. Don't be a sheep, folks. I don't care what country you're in.
Do you think
wake up.
That's the plan of the government to scare us, to make us think that something's happening when it's not really happening?
Well, things are happening, but they're not happening in the way people are being told they're happening. You see, what's happening is these objects that they say they don't know what they are, you better believe they know what they are. They know what they are. They know exactly what they are. These people that are in the Pentagon, the highest levels of the Chinese military, the people in Russia, the people that control all these different countries, they all know what's going on. They don't want you to know what's going on, you see? They know what's going on. And I'm here, and staying for entertainment purposes only, to tell you the truth. Because I've been in this thing a long time. I've been in touch with people on the inside who've told me information. I know stuff. I don't have to have anybody in the Pentagon come forward. I already know consciously what they're doing. I read the energies. I've been gifted that ability. I know what they're doing. They're lying to the whole world, not just New Jersey or New York or Vermont or California. The whole world is being lied to. The whole world. So I'm going to tell you some stuff here that's going to blow your mind right now. For those that have never watched this show before, okay? There's going to be contact happening. It's starting to amp up. You're going to start seeing things in 2025 on this planet that you have never seen above your skies. Trust me on this. If you take the time to not just walk across the street and take the time to look out in the skies for 2 hours a night, coming in this, as we get to the end of this year, 2024, I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. I guarantee you, if you have your cameras fully charged up, your phones charged up, your cameras ready, have them in your car, your truck, when you're walking with your dog, wherever you are, be the one who's prepared. Keep your eyes to the skies. Keep looking what's up there, because if you don't, you're going to miss it. When you think there's nothing going on, there's always something going on. We've been programmed to get up in the morning, have our Kellogg's cereal, have our coffee, and go to work. Oh, I'm going to be late for work. I get to the office. Oh, I got to go to the market. I have work there. I got to go to the factory this morning. I got to drive my truck and bring an 18-wheeler load to the Oregon or something. We've been lied to, see? We've been programmed to do everything and just keep it going. Have a nice Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever, Kwanzaa, whatever it is you do. Go to your temples, go to your mosque, go to this, go to that. Get sidetracked from seeing what's really going on, brothers and sisters. Don't get sidetracked. Listen to my words here. I'm telling you some really good information. I'm not gonna give you a fluffy stuff here. I'm not gonna give you, I'm gonna channel somebody from the planet XYZ. I don't do that. I'm here for a purpose. Like I said, I'm human consciousness. I'm also cosmic consciousness, meaning that my parents are watching this show right now. Right now, whether you believe it or not, and people that know me, I don't care what people believe at all. I know I've come out of the closet 21 years ago, just like if somebody had a lifestyle and they came out and said, oh, I think I'm gay or homosexual. I am who I am. I'm not afraid to be who I am anymore. I am a space being having a human experience. I'm a space being, hear my words. I am a space being consciousness having a human experience. But I also have a space body on a spaceship that's in stasis right now. I have parents on a spaceship from the Ashtar Command, which is, if you've never heard of it, they are the positive space beings. They're like the galactic forces, like a United Nations of the whole universe. Look at it that. I'm trying to make it simple so you understand this. They are men and women. They come from many different planetary systems, and they are here to help our planet. And they're the ones that are going to be making contact with us soon. But you're not going to hear about this on any of these UFO shows. They'll talk about it. A lot of these UFO shows on YouTube or whatever, they kind of talk about something that's going to happen, but I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. They kind of talk to these former generals about what's going to happen, but they don't tell you what's going to happen, you see? They never get to the point. Me, I get to the point. Everything's black and white. I don't mince things up here. I'm not going to fluff it up with popcorn and a little bit of whipped cream here. I'm going to tell you straight out what's happening, okay? So there you go. And I am going to bring up more guests. But that, Real Jay, I just wanted to, let you know on your question, there's nothing to fear.
Can I just ask one more question?
Yeah.
Why now?
Because it's time. If you asked me 5 years ago, why now? The space people know when it's time to do what they're doing. I think it's time for us to have the contact. I really do feel, it's gone on long enough. We have 70 years when our governments of the world worked with negative ETs to abduct people. They're putting a stop to all that. The government has lied to the public for 70 years in current lifetime. In current human history, you've been lied to every generation for over 70 Earth-based years. And we've accepted the lies. And when people question the lies, they say, oh, no, that wasn't a spaceship. That was just a plane you saw there. Just go back to doing what you're doing. It wasn't anything. There's a whole lot of stuff I can tell you, but I'll tell you Just understand that it's time for contact, and you're going to have the contact. It's not going to be 20,000 years from now. It's coming. That's why they're freaking out at the Pentagon. That's why they're having press conferences, because they know there's something way bigger going on, and they're not going to tell you what it is. But I will. They won't, but I will. I'll be happy to tell you what's happening here. I know what's happening. I'll tell you. You better believe it.
Now, when you say spaceships, are these the UFOs that we're so, used to seeing? Like, are they UFOs that we're going to be seeing?
There's all kinds of spaceships. There are circular orb type ships that are big. They're round. People have recorded them and documented them. They're the typical flying saucer type spaceships that were seen over in the 60s and 70s, and they're still seen today. There are large, what you call large ships that are seen. And people say, well, why do these spaceships have lights on them? Why not? The lights on the spaceship are a vibrational pattern of frequency. That's what the lights are. They're not like a light on a Mercedes-Benz, like it's trying to see where it's going. They know where they're going. These things are lights. When they're purple, bluish, or whatever lights they are that radiate around these objects, that is a vibrational light. That's a vibrational frequency of light that's appearing on the outward ends of the spaceship. It's not so much that they need to see anything. They don't need to see anything. They already know where they're going. You're talking about very advanced beings or people that come from other planetary systems. They don't need headlights. They're using vibrational patterns of energy that reflect a light. It could be purple, people seeing green type objects of light, people seeing yellow, people seeing orange. It's a reflection of the vibrational frequencies of their spaceships, and plasma too. Absolutely. All right.
I had a feeling something like this was going to come. I kept telling Joanna that one day we're going to go outside and we're going to be seeing UFOs everywhere. But I always thought that it would be like in a negative way, that they were against us.
Yeah, that's the programming that's been done through sci-fi movies and all that garbage when you were growing up. It's not true. Throw it out of your mind. It's not true.
Well, thank you for telling me, because this is actually exciting.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm going to bring you down. I got a lot of people to bring up, and we have Tiny Mama in New Jersey with us who's been seeing these drones. And let me see here what else we got here. Go ahead, Tiny Mama.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say, in the beginning when like UFO sightings were becoming a little bit more common, in my generation at least, I'm 40 years old. You would hear about, these cows that were, kind of sacrificed, if you will, head propped up, and like how could the head be propped up like that? Kind of really odd. And then you hear about the crop circles and all of those things. That's what I always thought. Growing up is like there's a UFO sighting and then there's a crop circle.
Right.
I it's funny that you were talking about all of this, because I had a live the other night where we were talking about that, and I said, when was the last, the UFOs and UFO sightings and alien encounters are becoming so much more common that, like, why aren't we seeing anything like that anymore? And I looked up the last time there was a crop circle, and it was like 2004. And then I'm looking at the pictures now as a young kid. Again, I'm 40. So when, I was younger, that's what I thought they did. But then I'm looking at these pictures of the crop circles, and I'm like, one was like a yin yang, one was like like an actual, what we know of as a typical alien face. And I'm like, this isn't.
And let me introduce Vanessa and then David. Hey, Vanessa.
Hi. I don't know if my sound's on or if I have to do anything.
Yeah. I'm getting a lot of feedback, a lot of echo.
You're getting feedback on your... Okay.
Here, I'm going to unplug my microphone because I don't know how it's...
Yeah, that's good. Unplug the microphone. There you go.
Perfect.
Yep,
and then we're also going to invite David into the discussion here. So, Vanessa, where are you located and what's happening?
I'm in central New Jersey, actually. I haven't seen much of what's going on recently. I've just been watching the videos.
Mm-hmm.
But during the summer, I actually saw something really strange. Can you come on camera?
Can you turn your camera on? Can you turn your camera on? Do you know how to do that?
If I can figure it out.
You're watching Encounters, folks. Everybody around the world. This is the #1 spiritual UFO talk show here on social media. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. I'm also with NPR Pacific Radio in Connecticut, and I'm also a contactee. So I'll let Turner. And also we'll get David, if you can turn your, let me see, does David have enough followers to do it? Yeah, David, if you can turn your camera on too, we'll bring you up to talk as well.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you bring your camera on? Can you turn the camera on?
Nah, man, I'm getting ready to go to bed. I just wanted to tell
ready
you
to go
my
to sleep?
story. Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we go to David, who's getting ready to go to bed, and then we'll go to Vanessa. Is that okay? We'll just switch that. So, David, go ahead. I know you're getting ready to go to sleep. Tell us what's going on where you are.
I've been dealing with UFOs and problems for my whole life. And I'm just glad this is happening. And UFOs also tend to mask themselves as drones. What you want to know is UFOs do not have sound. So if you are hearing things, it's not a UFO.
But what about the whole idea of the theory that these are actually advanced spaceships? And as my friend Colin Andrews, who's a very well-known circle researcher, he lives in the state of Connecticut. We're friends for many years. And his theory is that they are basically said cloned. I think he's trying to say they're cloaking to look like something visibly, something we'd accept. So they're making the sound, although they're creating a fake sound that is conventionally something we would understand. So what my theory is now is that these are cloaked spaceships creating a fake sound of an airplane or whatever. But when you see the objects, they're as big as an SUV. So what do you think about the possibilities that they are replicating what we understand, but that's not what they are?
I don't believe that at all, because
you don't believe they can do that?
I've literally had a few UFOs like encounter me within 50 feet. And it was the scariest thing I ever seen in my life, because I have children and I don't want them to take me away like they did with Enoch. So I don't believe that.
I don't know anything about that.
And they were dead silent. They were dead silent. It was the craziest. It was the brightest, whitest light I've ever seen in my life. And I've actually have a picture of a gray. So like that was outside my window.
Well, so your experience sounds like it was a negative thing, but I understand. We'll get into that a little bit more tomorrow night if you have time. But my real focus is regarding these particular objects, unrelated to what your situation is. I do understand it. I want to discuss it more. Will you be able to come on Monday night and talk about your experience?
Well, I believe that, I just believe that these drones that people are seeing could possibly be China drones. You know, I mean,
I don't think that's what they are.
About ships,
right? But why would China come all the way to New Jersey or to England when they're over? I mean, that is one theory. But I've spent time looking at all these videos and heard all these theories. I discount the China theory completely. I don't.
No, I understand what you're saying, but like, listen, and here it's very active, but people just don't see because they're not looking.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. That point is well taken. So people should look up.
Anything you say. I mean,
absolutely.
UFOs are real. They are here, and regardless of what your religion is or what you believe, there are definitely UFOs here.
Well, I appreciate that. I know you. I know you want to.
My experience was a bad experience. It was very spiritual.
Yeah.
But, it's scary when you have children. They want to be taken away.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the mind working on you now. Your brain tells you, your kids are going to be taken away. Now, do you really think your kids are going to be taken away?
No, I'm not talking about my kids. I'm talking about me when I was faced in 50 feet in front of a UFO, more than one.
Yeah. We're going to have to talk a little bit more about your experience.
He didn't want to leave his kids.
One of these nights. Right. You don't want to leave your kids.
I didn't think about my parents. I didn't think about my wife. I thought about my children.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to talk more about that. Steven?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
There was an interview with somebody. I don't know if anyone here has heard of her, but Anne Druffel wrote a book called How to Defend Yourself Against Alien Abduction. And there was an interview I listened to on YouTube. Somebody was interviewing her, and they talked about a lot of the things that were in the book. Right. And it was really, really, I thought it was fascinating. This was right after I saw something for the first time. It was broad daylight. I was taking a picture of this clouds because there was lots of trails and stuff in the sky. And I wound up getting a photo, and then I saw this thing just hovering, but that was the reason I thought the clouds looked wild because there was lots of contrails.
Interesting.
But then I was like, you know what? I didn't feel fear in that moment at all. But I talked to my mom and she was like, you don't want to get attention from these entities. I was like, well, I'm not really worried, but I like to understand things. So I started looking all over the place for, well, how do you defend yourself? How do you keep it from happening if you don't want to go?
Right.
I'm not really in the beam me up, mood.
Right.
Exactly.
So, and actually there were some really simple things that she said to do. So definitely worth looking into. One of them was just calling on a higher power, like as simple as that. Which I thought was really cool.
I think that's a cool thing. One of the things you'll find with my show, and again, I'm a contactee, so the one thing I can tell you is when I was a kid in the 60s, I had an experience of going in my cul-de-sac. My parents and my brother were downstairs. I went up the second level of our house for no reason at all, folks. I opened my brother's window, his wooden blinds. There was a spaceship. It was almost at ground level. It had windows. There were men and women with light blue spacesuits on. They would look just like us. They were telepathic. And that was my first time having a visual contact. Now, whether I went on the ship or something, I don't remember. But all I know is they sent me a telepathic message saying that I'm not from here, that I am definitely human, but I came from another place. I came from beyond Earth. In that time, that's because I'm a contactee. I went through going through high school, elementary school. I played sports. I did all these things. So on one level, I'm a regular person, but now I came out of the closet 21 years ago, and I'm a starseed, meaning that I don't come from here. My consciousness is from off planet. I'm well activated. I know a lot of things. I've interviewed a lot of people, and I am very much aware that the fear that some humans have is based on human fear. The perceptions of the brain creates the fear. So your brain creates fear. It does. Your inner spirit doesn't. We don't connect with the inner spirit. We connect with our brain, and our brain says, oh, you're going to, Now, there are people out there, I've interviewed folks, that are contactees. These people have been taken on spaceships. They are human beings on these ships. They are spiritual, loving people, and they're not ugly-looking space people that are getting ready to gobble you up and take you, to their home planet. I'm not negating any of that stuff happening, but there's another side to the coin that you're now going to see, which is the positive contact. And that's really what you're going to start seeing as we go into next year.
Well, I just got a question. How can you explain like orbs and like huge orbs coming to you? And
I can explain those.
Nothing. There's no lights. There's no people. It's just an orb coming to you when you're outside, just doing nothing. And it's kind of like creepy.
Well, it depends. Again, you can and I'm not negating your thinking of being creepy. For you, it is creepy. Now, you can have one other person on here that says, well, I'm not having that experience with an orb. My experience has been beautiful. So no, your experience, yes, David, it is creepy. I will acknowledge that. But I can have another person after this come on and say, oh, I see these big orbs, and it's like this beautiful communications. You see what I mean?
Can I ask what you think about, like, okay, so he had an experience and it was creepy.
Right.
I saw something and it was actually interesting and pretty neutral. You've had a lot of positive experiences. My dog.
Right. That's all right.
So another thing I like read and listened about is that fact that there could be different kinds of species and they have different motives for interacting with us. Absolutely. So some might just be trying to observe. Some might be trying to observe in a more invasive way, or even how they interact with our energy. Like they may actually want us to be in a fearful state of mind because I don't know, it reminds me of narcissistic people who kind of feed on the energy between you. Right. And then apparently there are these really positive, beautiful experienries. So it seems like there's a whole range, and it's not really you can just put it in a box.
You can't put it in a box. And David's experiences I will not take away from him because he's having it's not for me to take away anyone's story or their experience. Sure. It's here for them to be open and in fact to come forward and share it. That I think is a beautiful thing when you can come forward.
Well, it's not that it's always creepy. It's just like you said, misunderstanding of things.
Right.
I've
Right.
come across some things that were very crazy, like the lights that she's showing up in her picture, and
Right.
Tina Mama, like they definitely look like UFOs.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I've come to the conclusion that it's not like an offshoot comment. I spent about a number of weeks watching videos, listening to people's video theories on here, and I have come to the conclusion that these things are basically replicating something that looks more Earth-like, just because we as humans, in our brain levels, respond to that. You see what I mean? We respond to that. I'm saying that I'm saying that a good portion of these things are definitely advanced extraterrestrial intelligence, that these objects are coming from a large mothership. I've come to that final theory. I don't think that these things are regular everyday craft that we have created. They're replicating sound and frequencies of what we understand as a human population.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
that's what I think.
And it's really nice that people get to see what's really going on, because
really,
they've always said I'm crazy and everything like that. I'm not.
You're not crazy. I hear it all the time. You, brother, you're not crazy. You're seeing things. You're coming forward and experiencing and sharing it. And I thank you for doing that, because we're in a day and age where all this stuff is happening. It's now time to kind of talk about it,
Yeah, it is time, man. And I hope people wake up and really understand that there's more things out there than just us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, David. I know you want to go to sleep, brother. I thank you for watching us. We're on at 11 o'clock at night, and definitely I appreciate you.
All right, thank you. Good night.
All right. Hey, David. Thank you, David. Let me see here. We have Vanessa on here with us, and we'll see, maybe bring another person up here. Again, you have to be over 18, no foul language, no smoking on the show, no cursing, no drunks, no drinking, no paranormal discussion, no politics, and no religion. We're talking about what's going on with these drones, right? And it's been fantastic. People are sharing their experiences. And let me see here. I'm going to bring, I got a lot of people on here. Let's see. Charles Gorman. We'll bring up Charles, and then we'll bring up 999, I Want to Believe. Charles Gorman is our next guest, joining us with Vanessa and also Tiny Mama. And you're watching Encounters, the late night spiritual talk show on the East Coast. We're on here at 11 o'clock nightly here on TikTok. Charles, welcome to the show. Charles, you with us? Hope Charles didn't fall asleep. Charles, are you there? I think we lost Charles. All right. Let me see. I'm going to bring up another person. Again, if you're seeing these things, folks, wherever you are in the world, I know we have people watching this all over the world. Are you seeing these things? Now, it's a drone. Have you been seeing increased activity of these things in your country or in your state? Wherever you are, please get into multi-guest option, and we'll definitely be happy to talk to you. Let me see here. We're going to bring up 999, I Want to Believe next. Joining us with Tiny Mama and Vanessa.
Hello there.
Yeah. Hey, good evening. How are you?
I'm trying to get this picture up, but I can't.
You're trying to bring a picture up? Vanessa? Are you trying to bring a picture up? Is that...
You're muted, Vanessa.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Now I'm not
Go ahead,
muted.
Vanessa.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to bring up the picture, but the problem was it was broad daylight. It was about 9 in the morning, and I was headed out of the house. I live in Woodbridge. I was headed out to go to a doctor's appointment. And what I didn't realize was, like I said, I saw this stuff in the sky because, like, you know, those contrails that spread out for hours and then fill everything up, whatever you think of those. But there were a lot of them. And then I snapped a picture before I got in my car, and then I decided to turn on my video while I was driving. Not that I recommend that, but I just hit video. It's on a little holster in the window. And then I noticed something, and I tried to zoom in on it, and by the time I pulled over, it was gone. What's wrong, buddy? My dog's whining.
Oh, your dog.
But I went and zoomed in, and I was like looking at this thing, and the way it was hanging there, it looked like there were two. And I think I reposted the video the other day because all of this stuff is happening now.
Yeah.
But it was not, I mean, it almost looked like it was lighting up, but I really don't think these things are made of the same kind of stuff that we're
Right.
used to.
Yeah.
So like from all of these reading, that's part of why we don't get great pictures of him sometimes.
And again, I know my friend in April, she's in Vermont. We have a thing called Ash Tarkham at Night for everyone who's watching the show. Every Saturday night, we do a broadcast on Encounters called Ash Tarkham and Q&A. Because I know a lot of, there's 916 people here. I know probably half of you have no idea what the Ashtar Command is. They are a space group of space people that are human. I'm connected with them consciously. That's why I call myself a star seed. I've had contact when I was a kid. I explained the story earlier. I lived in a cul-de-sac. They came to me in a spaceship. I don't know if I ever went physically on the ship, but I went downstairs to get my parents and my brother upstairs to look at the spaceship that was hovering in our cul-de-sac at night. And no one came up. I went back up. They still were there. And they said, you'll never forget us. We're going to put a memory into your memory and your consciousness that you'll never forget us. And they were so right on that I never forgot what they looked like. I know what the ship looked like. The ship had a energy system in the center that was blinking like yellow lights like crazy. There were a whole bunch of space people looking through the window at me, and they were all human. And they all were, wearing light blue space outfits. And they were beautiful. I mean, they were the most beautiful energy and people I've ever experienced in my childhood as a kid. And so I come from that experience that the Ashtar Command, which you now are going to hear more about on my show, these are real people. It's like taking the United Nations. Think of it as the United Nations, but throughout space, it's the galactic forces of many planetary systems from many dimensions, many universes, many galaxies throughout life. I mean, they are here. They are the good people, and they're here to make contact with us. They've done it before. This planet's billions of years old. We only know about the recent history of our planet, but does any science teacher, any history teacher about Earth talk about a planet that's billions of years old? And how could we only know about the history 2,000 years ago, right? When the planet's billions of years old, we only can talk about 2,000 years ago, or maybe a little bit longer, 5,000 years ago. So if a planet's billions of years old, do you think maybe that there was intelligent life here before we were here? That there were different types of civilizations here before we were here? Of course there was. It'd be foolish not to know that. So the Ashtar Command, just so you now know, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. They are the different space people that are now showing themselves. You're going to see their spaceships. They're going to start showing themselves, uncloaking their ships as we get into 2025. You're going to see things. If you're willing to look up, you'll be able to document and record these things. But you have to be willing to do it because they are here and they're going to be coming in full force here. And the reason they're coming is not to frighten the people of Earth. They're coming here to help us. So if you hear anybody creating a false theory that, there's going to be an invasion and we're going to be taken over, do not believe that person on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, or whatever. Don't believe it. It's not true. It's not true. And the reason why I stamp it's happening now, whatever it is, for whatever reason, it's our time. We've come to graduate from where we were in limitation. It's now our time to have contact. And this has happened throughout the universe with many planets that have graduated from where they were. It's like going to, starting at nursery school, right? You graduate and you go to first grade and you go to second grade. Why do people graduate and decide to graduate from college? Because it's time for them to graduate. They spend 4 years. I'm going to use the logical explanation. You're 4 years of college. You did everything for 4 years to be a scientist. Now it's graduation day. And now you graduate. Now you're a scientist. But to get to be a scientist, in this analogy, you have to spend 4 years in college studying what kind of science you want to be. For the space people looking at Earth, they see us graduating from where we have been to where we're going, right? So we're going from point A to point B. It's time. Now, I don't know the answers as to why now is the time for contact as much as I have connections, but it's time. It's just time. If you go within and meditate, to learn how to meditate, feel how it feels. Don't think about why is it time to have contact. Meditate. If you never meditated, that'll be your strongest point to understand what's happening here. Don't think about it. Meditate on it, and you'll get the answers. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Well, I do think that we're kind of reaching an era where a lot more people are, you know, quote unquote woke. You know what I mean? And we are starting to see, you know, that there is more, and we're trusting less in you know, our government, and more in the things that we always thought to be conspiracies.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd be interested, and you don't have to do this tonight. Maybe this can be a you know, a future live, something that you discuss. But I would be interested to hear your thoughts on people with Rh negative blood.
Oh yeah, people have asked me about that. So when it comes to the blood types, people have been asking me, so the 2 years I've been on here, about their blood types, if they will have contact with space people that are positive because of their blood type, or is their blood type not the right blood type for contact? So this is my answer simply. No matter what your blood type is, it makes no difference to the space people. Your blood type has no relevance. What they're more concerned with is your consciousness. See what I mean? If your consciousness is elevated to an opening state, they're more interested in what you feel and what you think than what your blood type is. That's irrelevant to them.
Well, so I'm talking about how those with Rh negative blood, there's no scientific reason as to why, you know, Rh negative people, you're O negative. Yeah, why it's last time I checked, it was a 15% people with an Rh negative. Now I believe it's at a 7%, but it's said to be extra. It's not human like.
Well, it might not be human-like, but don't get too hung up on it, because again, the blood type, whether it's very rare, has nothing to do whether somebody has contact with space people or whether they have a contact with a society that they're human, having their mother or father, have their two sisters and maybe a couple aunts and uncles on Earth, but then they wake up and say, "Wait a minute, I'm being visited by somebody, and they're saying my blood type doesn't matter. It's my consciousness. I'm connected to planet zero out there in the universe," or whatever. That's more important and more relevant than whether somebody has blood type 0, Rh negative, Rh positive. Don't get hung up on blood types. For whatever reason, there's that. Yeah, and you know, again, that question comes up. I understand it, but don't get hung up on the blood types, whether it's rare or not. Doesn't make any difference. They want to know, as a human being, whether you are fully activated, whether you're consciously aware, and how you're going to react to them when they come and visit you. That's more important to them than what your blood type. They don't care about your blood type. They really don't.
Yeah, no. I'm not talking about them being interested in our blood type. Rh negative, they don't know where it came from. So they don't, you know what I mean? Like, scientists do not know how Rh negative blood even became a thing. And because it's not traceable.
Yeah, I got you.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they say that it's from descendants from
wherever.
You know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So so the scientists could still be. Well, that's what scientists do. They like to get bogged down in these things and try to figure it out. And being that I'm honestly not a scientist, I can tell you that would be somewhat. I mean, for them it's important. I completely understand it, but in general, it doesn't matter. It makes no difference. Yeah. You know, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And 999, come on in here and join us in the conversation. 999. This is Encounters, the late night spiritual talk show. What would you like to say here tonight?
Oh yeah, so I have a question, because I've been studying more like for a while, but what will happen to like average people during the once we get a full disclosure? Because given the timeline of what's going to happen, what do you think's going to happen with society after we finally see the full disclosure happen?
A great question, and the reason I can answer that is because I am a contactee, and because they're watching us right now. For people watching this show, it doesn't matter what you believe, what I'm saying. They are monitoring my show. My family, I have a family on the ship, 2 sisters, a brother, mother, and a father, and a bunch of other people of the Ashtar Command that are monitoring me on a monitoring system. I was taken on the ship a few weeks ago through astral projection, and I was in a big room that was like a white, beautiful room on this big ship, where they have the controls and monitoring systems. They monitor our frequencies, they monitor everything. but they watch the show. They have a monitoring system screen of some sort, and they can watch the show here. And they're watching the show right now as you're speaking, asking your questions. So I will tell you this. After contact happens, we are going to be participants equally with the space people, the good ones, to be helping to heal our planet. They're going to be helping us correct what we did incorrectly in our current history. The pollution, the poisons of our atmosphere. This is for entertainment purposes only. What we've done, creating wars over many, many, many years, not just current history, but throughout history of this life on Earth. They're going to help us correct the problems. We as people are going to learn way more things than we know that we've learned in high school or in college. We're going to be learning galactic things that we've never learned before. And whether you believe this or not doesn't even matter to me, because it's going to be the way it's going to happen. And it's all for the benefit of humanity and also for our planet. All life forms on our planet are going to be living in a way of peace. There's going to be harmony. Now, some people think, oh, this is just a la la land story. No, it's not. This has been planned for a long time. And I don't care whether you believe it or not, it is going to happen. Do we believe in God? Yeah. The space people? Absolutely. The people from all the other planets, they believe in God, unlike the way you believe in God on Earth. On Earth, we have different gods. We have people separating gods. We have people separating countries. We have people separating. And what we do is create conflict and separate, right? In the universe, the space people not only believe in God, they call it the creator, same thing. They don't have any conflicts. They don't have any religions. They don't have religions. They don't have churches and temples, mosques, and all this stuff on Earth. They live in harmony. They are vegetarians. They live in harmony. Their planets live in peace. Their cities are beautiful. Their lands are beautiful. Their waters are clean. They don't live the way we live. We've done so many things the opposite way. They're coming here to help us. That's why they're coming here. And God is not just confined to Earth. God created the whole multiverse, the whole universe, all the dimensions. But on Earth, we're programmed to believe in certain ways here that are incorrect. We're termed, the belief systems we have are based on limitation. We're taught to believe only textbook things. That's what we're taught. It doesn't matter what you are or who you are. That's the way we're taught to separate everything. In the universe, the space people, everything is one. Everything is connected. And here in our planet, everything's disconnected, even us. We're all disconnected from each other, right? It's the truth. We don't get to know each other. We disconnect from each other. We go about our daily business, go to Wall Street, do the stock exchange. But in truth, that stuff is so immaterial to what's going to be happening here. It really is.
Interesting. Yeah, it's so cool to hear, because I feel like now that we're at a point, because I've always pointed it to the idea that we've slowly started to go back towards spiritualism within society, that has held a huge play within the idea of disclosure.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you. I know we're getting up to 1 o'clock in the morning, and again, we're on nightly. We're on 11 p.m. till near 1 or 12:45. Any last words from you guys? And people that are in the queue, I'll bring you guys up tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. I promise. Our show is on at 11, so I'll be happy to bring you on tomorrow evening. Any final comments, Tiny Mama, Vanessa, 999?
The only thing I'd like to say is that come a certain point, it's 1 o'clock now. I've kind of been peeking back here every once in a while, and like at about midnight, it's dead silent out there.
Wow.
There's nothing flying. There's no. I mean, let me give it one good check.
And she's in southern New Jersey. She's been checking for us earlier this evening. She had 10 of these objects in the distance. Early in the evening, they were over her location. The so-called drones were over her location. And now she's looking out and they're not there anymore. They're gone.
Nothing. And that's every time.
Has there been like a pattern anyone's noticed between, it seems, I mean, I'm smack in the middle of like the most concentrated area of population in New Jersey, like Woodbridge is Like, we don't really have big tree lines or anything like that here.
Yeah.
It seems like further north and further south where there's more space, and I'm not sure what else is maybe a common denominator, but aside from like infrastructure stuff, are there areas where this activity is like concentrating? I'm curious about a lot of aspects of it. I wish someone were
I moved to
collecting
New
like
Orleans
data on
next
where
week,
they're
so I'm
seeing.
trying to figure out if I'm gonna see any.
So he's 999's in New Orleans, Louisiana. So these have been
they're
cited
everywhere. People are popping up like they're seeing them everywhere, but it just seems like there's I don't know, like an extra busy patch we've got here for some reason.
And my friends in Pennsylvania, Half Pint, who's been on our shows multiple times, they have contact with the term Anunnaki. Now, for those that don't know what the Anunnaki are, they're space people that are human. They're actually anywhere from 10 to 15 feet high in height. Maybe I'm a little bit. They're maybe not 15, but they're definitely tall. And they're men and women. They look just like us. And they've been visited, Half Pint. They've been on my show. I've interviewed them. They have contact with the Anunnaki. They've documented spaceships over their property. They've physically come off the ships to go to their house, the space people. So that they're happening. Things are happening. I'm telling you, we're going to have some major deals going on here soon, folks.
That's where everyone says that the Rh negative blood came from, the Anunnaki.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll have to get into that a little bit more.
That's why I'm Rh negative. That's why I asked. I had to get the shots and everything when I was, if I didn't get the shots, my body would have rejected my babies. That's how it was always explained to me. I looked into it, and everything that I've read said that it is extraterrestrial and it originated from the Anunnakis and Atlantis.
Interesting. Now that could be that's different. That could be just because of that situation. That would make sense now that you've explained it in your specific situation. That would make sense. But that's a whole nother discussion for another night, for sure.
Yeah, that's why I said maybe that could be a future discussion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's why I had asked you. But to answer your question, Vanessa, I know we speak a lot about like it being around Air Force bases. I live probably about 45 minutes to an hour away from an Air Force base. So I'm not near any military bases or anything like that, or like relatively close. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now where they were being seen in North Jersey, probably a lot closer to the bases. I'm probably about 20 minutes from Philadelphia, a big city. That's the only other thing that I could really think of. We've been swarmed with drones the past, couple weeks. I'm on I have a Ring doorbell. I have Ring cameras all over my house because I just have anxiety like that. And I get all of my my notifications, and people from my town were saying it, and nobody from like towns over, and then the towns over were seeing them, and now I'm getting notifications that like it's kind of spread out. So I'm still seeing them, but towns around me that weren't are now seeing them as well. So,
and I think we'll continue this discussion definitely tomorrow night.
This was awesome. Wonderful. I'm so glad I stumbled in here.
I'm glad you did too.
He's like, just on your camera, and I'm like, okay.
I keep seeing stuff about like TikTok ban this and that, and I'm like, you know what? There's a reason I think they don't want TikTok.
But the good news is I don't support any Earth-based politicians, but I heard this guy named Trump. He's an Earth-based person. I'm a space being in a sense. He says that he was interviewed about. He said that 30% of his vote came from TikTok youth. And he says, and he's going to do everything supposedly when he gets elected, when he gets sworn in office, he's gonna supposedly sign a document preventing the banning of TikTok.
Well, just in case, just look into VPNs, because then you can use whatever you want wherever you are. I got one already. I found like a free one, so just look up a VPN. I keep
I don't
telling
think
people
I
just
don't
in
think that
case something
I
gets
don't think that
weird.
our
Because I
country
wouldn't want
that's
to not have the ability to
right.
see what people are posting and talk. Because I mean, I'm not really into X, but every now and then I
Yeah.
pop on there when something's happening. But I'm on here way more, and
Yeah.
it's been
So
fascinating what I've find. Like,
yeah.
I would have never wound up on here before heading to
Well, I
bed.
don't
This
believe
was
I don't
awesome.
believe that they're going to be able to ban TikTok. I think for a
Okay.
country, for all the years I've been alive, that talks about freedom and freedom and freedom, it's a contradiction for us to go after social application and say we're going to knock you out of here in the United States. And we're talking about countries that are dictators. What kind of country is this that is telling us that we're not going to have this freedom of this application? That's a dictatorship that does that. That's a country that doesn't want people to know the truth. This show brings forth truth. I don't think that they're going to be able to ban. The one thing you should do is contact your senators wherever you are in the United States right now. Monday morning, call their lines up, tell them that they should be against the banning of TikTok. I don't care what their political party is. I want everybody to do this every single day. We have to put pressure on these people. They need to know that we are the people. There are people that are actors and actresses that use TikTok that are well known. They're people that from big companies to advertise on here. So it's not like some subversive application. We have all kinds of people on here, from rich people to poor people, from companies, whatever. We need to take control of the situation and bust the matrix. And busting the matrix is putting these representatives in their place that are supposed to represent all of you, but they're trying to tell us what to do. That's not the way it's supposed to be. We elect people to represent us, not to be dictators to us what we cannot watch. We're not a bunch of little kids here. We're adults. We can decide what we want to do, what we want to create. These people in the three-piece suits, they need to be shaken up a bit, I think. So make sure Monday that you call your representatives up in Washington and tell them what you think and get on their case. Everybody. All right?
I like that plan.
Sure.
Thank you for having
Good
me.
night.
Thank you, man.
All right, take care, everybody. I'm going to sign out of here now. Please follow me. If you're not following me, please do that. We have 153,500 likes. Thank you. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate all the new people here. We love you. And everybody have a good night. Make sure to take time to look at the skies. Wherever you are in the world, take time to look at the skies. And Vanessa, you take care too. I thank you for finding us as well. Been a great guest. Tiny Mama and 999. Everybody out there, take care. I'm getting out of
Appreciate it.
here
This was
and I'm
great.
going
Good
to sleep.
night. See you
All right,
soon.
take care, everybody.